Starting at the top, we have my Where the Wild Things Are, which is technically my kitchen, but I consider this little corner here to also be my office, and that's the little section that peeks out of the kitchen. And then up here, I have a box that says camera that has my camera equipment and some other technology. Then I have keepsakes, floral, yarn, party, archives. Behind the archives box is a box where I keep some of my finished artwork. The majority of that artwork is currently from willowing.org's Lifebook, which is really awesome. I should link it below. Raffia, sketchbooks, stamps, and scrap paper, because I keep all of my scraps. I use them for projects and some of my workshops as warm-up projects. And then I have ribbon. I have some items for sale, which are some of my jewelry pieces you can find on my Etsy shop. I have scissors and foil. SM stands for small paper. Then I have magazines. And then up here, I have two file box. Lucky 7 are all of the long-term files that you're supposed to keep. And then Present Moments is the file box with current files in it. And I like to keep them separated so that I don't have to have one large box that's hard to get down and back up on this high space, because everything here requires a ladder. So I like to keep the things that I don't use as often, and then some of the extra supplies that I use for classrooms. So if we move down, I have a wall of some of my personal art, as well as a picture of me and my hubby, who also has a YouTube channel. If you guys are also into gaming, you should check his channel out, Epic Mega Gameplay. And then here I have Elfa's magazine rack that I'm using for magazines, but then over here I'm using the same Elfa attachment to hold my graph paper, as well as some large sticky glitter paper and some burlap pieces. This new section here, starting with that top shelf that has Lucky 7 all the way down, that is a new addition to my space, but I recycled or reused these drawers here that used to be over here, purchased some new attachments of Elfa, including these two shelves, these two, and the two pieces here that are supposed to hold magazines, and then this utility shelf. So with the addition of 2 more rods to make this long vertical space and these pieces here, I was able to utilize another section of my wall, giving me more workspace that I didn't used to have, because these drawers here used to be in this corner. But to see my original space that I used to have in San Clemente, which was a smaller space than where I live now in Charlotte, North Carolina, then you can click on the video that I have linked below, and I'll also pop it in here so that you could see what I did when I had a smaller space, and now that I have a little bit larger space, how I utilize that extra space. So here on my desk I have my computer, my label maker, and then my little muses. One is for creativity, one is for abundance, and one is to inspire. And those little guys just remind me of why I created Simply Art in the first place. And then down here I have 3 organizing bins. I purchased them from Elfa. One says printer, and that has all the printer paper. The next one is paper, and that's a mix of specialty papers and cardstock. And then I have working files. And then the box that says mail has stamps and envelopes and things you would use, normal stationery. And then I have 2 printers, this larger laser printer and then an inkjet printer. If we go down here, I have this puff pillow that I got at Target when it was on sale. This trash can here is from the dollar store. And then this unit here, I believe is used for fishing tackle, and I purchased it at Elfa. And it's where I have all of my small pieces, like eyelets and brads and little stone. It's also where I keep things like my batteries and other fun things like that. And then I have glitter attached with some pieces of Velcro. This hasn't changed since my home in California, but I thought I would show it again. Under here is where I have a box of mail that needs to be filed. And then this holds some excess jewelry materials. And then of course a cutting mat. And then I have some paints that I readily go to, as well as some pearl pigments and some dimensional paint. Some of my favorite spray inks. And what I keep on these shelves are the things that I'm most likely to grab often. So my most used double stick tape and washi tape. And then I love my Post-its, including my little Post-it flags. I use those quite often. And then in this box, I have a collection of stickers and stencils. The goal is to add one more shelf to this Elfa unit, probably right about here, so that I can get this off of my desk space and then have a little bit more working room. If you'd like to see a complete collection of my craft and art supplies, then like this video and leave me a comment and I will do that for you. But until then, I'll just give you a basic overview, and really I want to show you the drawers where I used some of the boxes that I purchased at the dollar store just recently, which I posted a haul on my Instagram if you want to follow me on that. I'll link that as well. These boxes I purchased at the dollar store, and they have been working out just perfect. I have some of my accents in here. In here I have chalkboard labels. This was actually purchased at Michael's. So these are from the dollar store, and these were purchased at Michael's. These are also from the dollar store, and they hold some of my embellishments. And then down here, these bins were purchased at the dollar store, and they're really awesome because I hang them over my Elfa drawer, and underneath I can fit more items. In the far corner of my office, I have this white unit here that was graciously donated to me by one of my meetup members. I'm hoping she's watching this video. If you are, thank you so much, Leslie. This has been awesome. And I have Target bins to hold some of my pens and markers. And I have some of my spray mounts and other good stuff here. And then this is where I keep my personal canvases and paper and some bags. These bags are actually made by a family member, and they're beautiful. But this is where I keep some of my personal pieces, and I'm going to show you in just a moment where I'm holding all of my excess materials for the art classes that I teach. This basket here is also from the dollar store, and then I'm just holding some paper. I just recently saw a video from Alejandra and her organizing channel, and she had a fantastic way of using bins and styrofoam cups to organize your gift wrapping, I believe it is. And I may utilize that same concept for some of my specialty papers, but in the meantime, that's what it is. Now we're about to walk into my secondary space, which is an extra bedroom we have in our home. On the door, we have a picture of a little adipose, if anyone knows what an adipose is, saying, "You're the best gamer on YouTube," which is for my hubby. So here is the mess, but I am going to tell you what the plan is. So we currently have some crown molding being utilized as shelves, which I put up to showcase some of my favorite books. And I might have shown this in another video. And it hasn't changed much except with the addition of a few more pieces. There's my husband's guitar. It was given to him by my mother. And then back here, my husband just recently built this bookshelf, and I'm currently organizing it, as you can see, by category. This is also where I'm going to keep my Buddha board. And then I'm redoing my Moolah map, which is from the Right Brain Business Plan. So I brought that in here to keep until I can create another one. And then we just have some technology wires and doodads, as I like to call them, that were in my craft space before, but I'm moving them in here so that my husband can organize them as he sees fit, because he is in charge of all things technology when it comes to our household. So we have some old routers and lamps and keyboards and phones and all kinds of stuff in here. So that's going to be my husband's task, but I've got it in here in the meantime. And then in this box, I have some leftover bins and art supplies that need to be organized into bins in this closet. And I'll show you where these are going to go. So I'm going to utilize this closet with some bins stacked here, labeled of course, and that's going to hold all of my extra art supplies that I use for my workshops that I host locally, and then perhaps some art materials that I have to teach some of my online workshops. And then we have a IKEA unit here that currently holds files. In the San Clemente home, this was part of my office, and it still has leftover craft supplies that really should be put into the wall that you saw, like my box here full of jewelry. And I do plan on doing that. But in the meantime, it has a home in this spare room. So this is an ongoing project, and I will post a video of this room when it is all clean and organized to show you how I treat excess materials. So that's my craft room, guys. If you want to see a tour of my vanity or my home tour, then check out my new channel, A Cali Girl in the South, and you can see all of the behind the scenes of my personal life and all the ongoings of what I do when I am not working on Simply Art. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful end to your winter, and I look forward to posting more videos in the spring. Cheers!